Now, we all know that for any economy to attain its highest level, we can't help but talk about industrialization. I mean, looking at Nigeria as it is, we're not really seen as a country that produces much. So, what does this portend for the manufacturing sector? How would you assess that as well?
Yes, interestingly, when the Minister of Finance and the chairman of economic committee of the government was talking about the budget, she said the policy they are trying to pursue is such that will encourage agriculture and manufacturing. Yes, that's the way to go. That's the way to create employment. But when you look at it in the real sense of it, are the policies moving towards encouraging the manufacturing sector? When you look at it from interest rate regime of the government, no. The rate at which money is being given out, no. The crowding of credit facilities, credit available in the economy through the government borrowing, which range between 14 and 16%, no. So it's difficult to say. To me, I'm seeing government pursuing a kind of populist agenda by maintaining, by ensuring that the exchange rate is stabilized, the inflation rate is tamed. Those are populist agenda. The real sector needs funds, needs money, needs credit, but this is not being addressed. So there is a huge challenge. In addition to this, we have challenge of influx of cheap products that are to compete with well expensive manufacturing products in the country. We have the challenge of infrastructure, electricity in particular, that the manufacturers are facing. These are some of the things that will not make manufacturing to be, for now, to be the sector to go for.
So, in other words, we still have quite a long way to go in that.
We still have a long way to go when it comes to manufacturing sector. I told you, this is an environment where your industrial hubs are fast changing to entertainment centers. What do you expect to happen? The government, they are approving the use of these facilities for a different use. If we have the mind of industrialization, these sectors have been set up there before. Why are we changing their use all of a sudden? Though they will claim that we are in a free economy, that you can decide to do whatever you like, but there should be decorum in some of the things we do.
Interesting. Then let's come to the issue of the foreign exchange policy. Recently, the CBN introduced a new foreign exchange policy. Let me find out from you. I mean, what do you think are the implications, for the economy as it is presently?
Yes, the foreign exchange policy as introduced by the government, like the CBN was trying to make one to believe, is trying to check what they call dollarization of the economy of Nigeria. The economy is trying to give dignity to Naira, which I will agree, as a sovereign nation, Naira should be the prime currency that should dictate things in our economy. Yes, quite good. But the implication, we've started seeing the implication. And the first thing we've seen is the rising exchange rate in the black market is now between 166 and, if I'm right, 172. This definitely, Nigeria economy is more of an informal sector. People play more in the black market in buying their dollar for importing. So definitely what CBN has always been trying to manage, that is stabilized the exchange rate, stabilize inflation, is indirectly creeping. So something has to be done when this kind of policy is being introduced.
All right, of course, so we are all privy to the PHCN privatization that was embarked upon by the federal government. I'm just going to find out from you your thoughts about that. But first, we'll take this break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the show. It's still Question Time on Channels Television. Please stay with us.
Every day as they happen, Opinions are ours.
I lost money in Africa. Sanusi said he couldn't care about the shareholder. Is that possible?
For and against, they have to be heard.
The government of this dispensation has made a very strong commitment. Yet, bomb keeps going on every day.
People are dying, and we are talking grammar.
Unfiltered.
You are the worst advertisement of the product you are trying to preach.
Uninhibited.
People are contravening and contradicting traffic rules.
Issues are laid bare.
This is what is called in psychology narcissism. Is worse than megalomania.
And the weight decided by you. Face Off, Wednesdays 8 to 9 p.m. only on Channels Television.
You're welcome back. You're still watching Question Time on the Channels Television. Mr. Remi Bello, the president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is our guest this week. And quite a lot has already been said. But before we went on the break, I was asking you about the PHCN privatization. Now, we all witnessed the giant strides that were made in the telecommunications sector some few years ago. And the federal government has said that will also be replicated, as regards power. Any hope for Nigerians? Do you see any light at the end of the tunnel, despite the skepticisms?
Yeah, thank you very much. On the power sector reform, to me, I believe that's the way to go. We've experienced it in telecommunication, and we are even at an advantage on this occasion. When we started the telecommunication, it's like we started from ground zero. How many people were having a telephone then? Both the landline and the mobile, the 090 of those days. How many were there? So I can say it's like we started from ground zero. But for the power sector, I want to say we are not starting from ground zero, in the sense that presently we generate electricity, whether by PHCN, whether by your generator. What matters is that we are generating electricity. But at what price? At what cost? That's the question we should ask. We do it inefficiently. So we've got something to compare with. Let's assume, for example, like I as a manufacturer now, I know how much I spend in a month for my energy use. If I'm spending 500,000 a month, including payment to public supply, including my generating electricity, it's 500,000 naira per month. I've got a base rate, which I will want to compare by the time these new investors are now giving me electricity. Add to my cost of, because no law will say I shouldn't run my generator. I don't think any law will forbid me from running my generator. If you are supplying me electricity, I had the cost to the cost of running my generator, as long as it's lower to the 500,000 I was spending before. So I'm better off. So that's what I mean, that we have something to compare with, which simply means we are going to an era of reduced costs from the onset. And as we go into it, you will recall when we started the telecommunication, it wasn't the one we started having per second billing. It was so expensive even having the handset in those days. It's everybody that is having a handset now. That is what is going to eventually happen in the power sector too. By the time, there is what is called learning concepts. At the onset, there may be these challenges, teething problems. Like in the last 2 months, the power supply has been very erratic, very bad. Yes, it's understood. When you are taking over, when you are transiting from one stage to another, definitely you will have these challenges. What I would just want to advise is that let's exercise on patience. I foresee a better future in power reform. It's the way to go. There is no other way to go about it. We've always been clamoring for privatization. If we get to this stage, all we need is small patience. We will get there. I believe it's the way to go.